or does it need to be back further?
Right now it's just Chris.
Good.
You gotta be really close. We good?
Yep.
All right. Hey guys, thanks for joining us this morning. We made an announcement about 30 minutes ago. Really two things. The first is we were playing soccer in 2017, so we are launching the amateur, what we call the U21, or U23 PDL team. So that's going to really sit right underneath the pro team, the USL team, with the idea that we'll be looking for players that have the capabilities and the skill sets to be able to sign to contracts for 2018. So that was announcement number one. We'll talk a little bit about that. This is Derek Green. Derek, say hi.
Thanks.
He is a stud at Tennessee State Soccer Association, and we want to also announce a partnership between Nashville SC, the soccer club here, and Tennessee State Soccer Association. And so maybe what we could do is just talk a little bit about what that is. It's all around player development. It's all around setting up a pyramid in terms of development, both for coaches and players. Why don't you just give us a little overview of that?
Sure. Well, I think, first of all, we appreciate you guys really being, having some foresight and some vision to wrap in a development model for the youth around not just really the mid-state, but across the state. I think when you talk about professional soccer, I grew up as a soccer player in this state, and professional soccer was a far-reaching dream into Europe for kids when I grew up. And now to have an opportunity to bring a USL Pro franchise to Tennessee and to tie sort of a vision and a dream for all the kids that are in this state to have an opportunity to sort of work and learn about and grow together through the state is huge. So I think our vision right now, player development, is changing a lot in this country. You know, with the growth of U.S. soccer, there's a lot of different leagues and organizations out there right now. So we wanted to make sure that we were staying cutting edge with player development. We have a player identification program right now called the Olympic Development Program that's sort of down from U.S. soccer, trickles down to all the states and all the regions. But we want to be better than that. And we want to have a vision going forward as a state office on how we can better train players in the state, better educate coaches across the state, elevating the vision and the mission for us, which is promoting the game of soccer. And so the ability to partner with you guys and to share some staff members to actually get across the state more, as opposed to having everybody always have to come to Nashville when we do training. can we get out and can we brand each other and can we brand professional soccer, youth soccer, and then we've got the pyramid from the pro team, the amateur team, down to the youth level. If a kid's good enough, they can spend their whole life in Tennessee playing soccer, and I think that's awesome.
Yeah, and I think that's our goal. You know, we see a lot of kids actually leaving the state of Tennessee and going to Dallas or Houston or down to Atlanta for training opportunities, really because of these academies that are popping up, these professional academies. And so that's really the goal is we want to allow kids in Tennessee to be able to stay here, play here, and perform here, both on a youth and a professional level.
Yeah, your point is great, and people may not know this, but we have churned out some tremendous youth players. I mean, every year or two, there's a kid coming out of this state that has a chance to really exceed and succeed at the next level. He's seen, he's found, and then he's recruited away from the state and really from the club locally that developed him. And so we'd like to change that, and we'd like to truly be a homegrown talent state where they don't have to leave, and there's an opportunity for them right here. And we feel like that's part of our job as we grow.
Yeah, FC Dallas, which is an MLS team, I think they had 7 homegrown players starting for them this year, which is amazing. And for us to be able to do that at the USL and hopefully the MLS level, but that's really our passion. That's our heart, is to begin to develop the youth and give them an opportunity to be able to play professionally. Yeah, let's go ahead and get some questions.
Okay, so Carter Mole says, how will roster structure different from NPSL, and who will we be competing against in the PDL?
Yeah, so we're, which conference? We'll be in the Southeastern Conference in PDL, and I think they're going to be adding teams to that, to the conference.
Peachtree City.
So Peachtree City, Tri-City down in Georgia, but where's it at? It's in Atlanta.
Tri-Cities is northeast Tennessee.
Okay, cool. So we'll basically be building those rivalries. We have been in conversations with PDL around helping recruit other teams to that conference, and so they'll be making announcements over the next couple weeks and months related to that, which will be great to be able to do. Any other questions?
No, the only thing maybe to add on the PDL section is it's a little more structured towards younger in development than the NPSL, so there are a little bit more age restrictions there, but by and large it's pretty much the same.
Great. I know I grew up in Nebraska playing collegially and then professionally, and played PDL actually when I was in high school, back in the old PDL days. But it was a lot of fun. It was a great experience. But what I'm super excited about is just this whole structure that we're setting up.
Yeah, and I can sort of on the rostering, one of the things for a PDL team that was similar to NPSL, but I think it's just gonna be another level. We have a ton of kids that go away to really quality Division I programs in Tennessee or outside of Tennessee and outside of the state, and they're always looking for a place to train and sort of make sure, number one, that they're staying in shape, that they're refining their game during the summer. So I think the ability to elevate and bring these kids back here, and I know there's been some kids on the NPSL team that have done that, but I think this is another level that can bring homegrown talent back here. You guys can watch these kids that grew up here, train them on the PDL team, and now are they going to be good enough in a year or two if they don't quite get to the MLS in their first year or two? You've already seen them, homegrown talent on the PDL team that could be part of the USL team.
Yep. Next question from Jason Petty. Where will the PDL team play?
Great question. So we're not ready to announce basically locations yet. We are working on training facilities and have some really great ideas around that and kind of building the plan around that. So we're working with the city and Tennessee State Soccer Association on what that looks like. We know that to be a professional club, you got to have a professional training facility and you got to have a place where players can come and get that instruction. And so that's really our passion is we want to unify. We want to use PDL, the pro soccer team, USL, to unify the state in soccer. And so that's really our passion and dream there.
I probably can't answer this, but I'm going to relay it anyways. What other cities close to Nashville do you think would join the PDL? Specifically, Evansville, Indiana would be a great choice, close to Nashville and has a great college program.
Yeah, actually, I played some of my teammates on my PDL team, and Lincoln, Nebraska, played for Evansville, Indiana. A guy named Chuck Browder. He was huge. He was an amazing keeper. But we don't know that. We do know that PDL is going to be making some announcements. Again, we'll be in the southeastern division of the PDL, and we'll go ahead and tweet out who the teams are related to that. We're excited.
Okay. Maybe Derek can answer this one. Can you talk about how the youth development program will work with state youth soccer clubs via the TSSA?
Yeah, so that's part of sort of what we're structuring right now, and so there'll be a press release coming out soon if it hasn't been released yet, and sort of in the media in this area at least. We're working through that. So right now we have the Olympic Development Program, and that's identification. We want to get out more, so we want to find the best players in the state, and we want to provide something for those players. So for instance, if you live in Chattanooga and you're one of the top 2 players in your club team, when you go to train every day, you're training with the same group of kids typically. We want to bring maybe the top 20 kids in Chattanooga together, and we want to come there, and whether it's once a month or whatever that may be, we want to get around the state and across the state and identify and develop and bring these coaches in and help them grow. So it's a work in progress right now, and we're working through these things, and so I think over the next 3 to 4 months we'll have a plan laid out as we're structuring it right now.
In that same vein, is our goal, this is from Billy Lewis, is our goal in the youth to have an academy like Atlanta has?
Yeah, I think ultimately all MLS and USL teams are going to be required to have an academy. And what that looks like, it's going to look different in different cities and states. And so the passion and our goal with the initial PDL team is really to create a unification platform there and bring the state together and the city together around soccer.
And it takes time to really roll out a DA. It's the sort of the pinnacle right now for boys soccer. You know, the girls just released their first, I think, 70 teams roughly for their DA that's going to begin in 2017. And so U.S. Soccer is elevating this. Well, those kids across the state, that if we have a DA in Tennessee, the kids that are not part of that DA, we're not just going to leave them behind. We want every kid to have a platform in this state, and to be able to use each other's resources is going to be fantastic for us.
Yeah.
This question from J.D. Smith. We've already answered the first part of this, so I'll ask the second part. Will those of us who already put money down for season tickets for the USL professional team be used towards PDL tickets, or will that be a separate deal?
Yeah, so your ticket deposit will go to the USL team. We'll also give you an opportunity to purchase tickets for the PDL team. We're still figuring out where we're going to play and what that looks like. Also, we're still working on stadium deals for the pro team. So a lot of that information is going to be rolling out. What you guys are seeing is really, you know, both myself and Marcus and Chris and David, you know, we're startup, we're entrepreneurs here. And so you're seeing the development of a professional club before your eyes. So thanks for your support in that. And we'll continue to communicate as much information as soon as we can when we get it. One of the things that I wanted to just point on is, you know, kind of the question, I forget who asked about the club side of things.
Maybe it was Carter. I'm not sure.
Carter. But we really want this to be a unifying platform. You know, clubs are competing on the field, but ultimately we're competing with, you know, other states and other regions. And one of the things that I noticed when I was growing up is, you know, we were never able to compete against the Ohios and the North Texas and South Texas because in Nebraska we just didn't have that quality of player, or they were split up on multiple different teams. So I think the vision of what we're trying to do here is just elevate the game across the state, partnering with the clubs, working with the clubs on what that looks like.
Yeah, it is a unification process, and I think anyone that's had a kid played a high level on the youth side in Tennessee is familiar with ODP. Not sure how many people watching right now might have played ODP or might know about it, but we want to take the game to the next level, and the resources that we have to get across the state, the resources to have a pro group and to have a facility here to bring kids here for an identification and development camp in the summer, all this is evolving, and it is truly all about player development, and it's about, now we have a pyramid in our own state with a pro team, an amateur team, down to the youth level. And it's the promotion of the game of soccer, and that's ultimately what it's all about for the kids and for raising the level and the standard. And so we're super excited.
Yeah, Oklahoma, the State Soccer Association in Oklahoma is a great model in terms of what we're doing. The Oklahoma Energy out there, which is another USL team, has partnered with the State Association out there.
Washington State did it as well.
State.
It's been done in Portland now to some extent. So what you're seeing, just as you're witnessing sort of the development of a pro franchise here with PDL and then USL, this youth model is evolving, and we'll be one of the few states that's probably out in front of this and the cutting edge that we think for the next step in player development as a state association. So we're really excited to partner with your all's minds and with your brains and to sort of take this with our staff across the state. We're looking forward to it.
That's awesome. A couple other things. The ways that you could support us is go ahead and retweet this, post it on your page. Anyone who posts it, Lucy, can you throw me that shirt? Actually, I'll grab the shirt.
There we go, yep.
So we've got Tennessee State Soccer Association, really cool Nike shirts that we're going to give out. We'll also have some Nashville SC gear. It actually gets printed on Friday. Will come in next week. So we're going to give 5 shirts away. So anyone who tweets it out or reposts it, you'll go into a little drawing, and we'll make that announcement next week. Hopefully we'll continue to do these Facebook Live events on a weekly, bi-weekly basis as we have announcements, or really just answer any questions that you guys might have. So the other thing, go buy season ticket deposits. Put your name down, put your dollars down. We're also, the other last thing is the Mexico game. They're playing New Zealand.
We have 2 jerseys coming.
And we have 2 jerseys coming from New Zealand. And do we have one from Mexico?
Yeah, we're giving away that one in the month.
Yeah, so go support that there. We're going to have a tent there. We're actually going to be giving out stickers, so Nashville SC stickers that you can put on your car, on everything. And we ordered magnets this week, so those will be coming in pretty soon as well. So anyhow, you'll start seeing a ton of gear. Hit our website up and support us, and thanks for showing up today. Thanks, guys.